Welcome back to What's Up Today show, where we bring you the latest breaking news and updates from around the world. In today's episode, we cover the recent events surrounding the death of Yahya Sinwar, the leader of Hamas, and the impact of his killing by Israeli forces. This high-profile elimination has stirred international reactions and escalated the ongoing conflict in Gaza. We're diving into all the details, from Sinwar's final moments to his life, influence, and what this means for the region moving forward. Stay tuned as we unpack everything you need to know. Sinwar's final moments captured by IDF drone footage. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, recently released drone footage capturing the last moments of Yahya Sinwar before he was killed. In the footage, a drone flies through the window of a damaged building in Rafah, southern Gaza. At the far end of the room, a figure identified as Yahya Sinwar is seen sitting on a sofa covered in dust. The individual, believed to be Sinwar, is shown holding a stick in his hand, attempting to defend himself against the drone before throwing the stick in a desperate attempt to ward it off. The Israeli military later confirmed Sinwar's death, marking a significant development in the ongoing conflict between Hamas and Israel. According to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the killing of Sinwar does not signify the end of the war, but is rather the beginning of the end of the long-standing conflict in Gaza. The raid and confirmation of Sinwar's death. The IDF confirmed that Sinwar was one of 3 militants killed during a raid on a building suspected of being used by senior Hamas figures. The IDF reported that no hostages were present at the site, despite prior claims that Sinwar often traveled with Israeli hostages as protection. During the operation, 3 gunmen were observed running between houses. Sinwar eventually entered a building alone, where he was tracked by the drone. IDF spokesman Daniel Hagari provided further details, stating that soldiers entered the building and found Sinwar armed with a vest, a gun, and 40,000 shekels in cash. Hagari added that Sinwar attempted to resist, but the operation was successful in neutralizing him. The confirmation of Sinwar's death came hours later, after the IDF compared dental records and fingerprints. The Israeli authorities had his genetic data on file from his time spent in Israeli prison decades ago. Graphic images circulated online showing a body resembling Sinwar lying in rubble, but Israel waited to confirm his identity. Netanyahu hailed Sinwar's death as a crucial victory, but reiterated that the war would continue until Hamas lays down its arms and releases the remaining hostages held in Gaza. Addressing the people of Gaza, Netanyahu claimed that Sinwar had destroyed your lives, and that his death marked the beginning of a new era, one without Hamas's control over Gaza. Sinwar's history and rise to power. Yahya Sinwar, also known as Abu Ibrahim, was born in 1962 in Khan Yunis, southern Gaza. He was first arrested by Israel at age 19 for engaging in Islamic activities. In the late 1980s, at the age of 25, Sinwar founded Hamas's internal security service, Al-Majd, which targeted individuals accused of morality offenses and those suspected of collaborating with Israel. In 1988, he was sentenced to 4 life terms in an Israeli prison for his involvement in the murder of several Palestinians. Sinwar was one of 1,027 prisoners released in exchange for Israeli soldier Gilad Shalit in 2011. Upon his return to Gaza, he was immediately accepted as a leader due to his history within Hamas and his reputation for ruthlessness. By 2017, Sinwar became the leader of Hamas in Gaza, and following Ismail Haniyeh's death, he assumed overall leadership of the organization. International reactions to Sinwar's death. Following Sinwar's death, Netanyahu called it a turning point in the war, but emphasized that it was not the end. He stated that the conflict could end tomorrow if Hamas agrees to lay down its arms and return the remaining hostages. Netanyahu assured the families of the hostages that Israel would continue its efforts until every hostage is brought home safely. Meanwhile, Iran, a significant backer of Hamas, condemned Sinwar's death, describing it as an act that would strengthen the spirit of resistance among Palestinian youth. Iran's mission to the UN stated that Sinwar would become a symbol for future generations committed to the liberation of Palestine. Who was Yahya Sinwar? Sinwar's reputation as a ruthless leader earned him the nickname the Butcher of Khan Yunis. Known for his brutal enforcement methods, he maintained control through fear and aggression. After serving over 22 years in Israeli prisons, Sinwar became a symbol of resistance for Hamas. During his imprisonment, he used his authority to negotiate with prison authorities and enforce strict discipline among fellow inmates. Israeli assessments described Sinwar as cruel, authoritative, and manipulative. He was fluent in Hebrew and often used it to communicate with prison officials, demonstrating his cunning and strategic mindset. Despite his harsh methods, he also showed periods of pragmatism, supporting temporary ceasefires and prisoner exchanges. Sinwar's relationship with Iran. Sinwar maintained close ties with Iran, which has been a significant supporter of Hamas through funding, weapons, and training. Despite the Sunni-Shia divide, Hamas and Iran shared a common goal: to end the State of Israel. Iran's assistance has helped Hamas build up its military capabilities, including an arsenal of thousands of rockets used to target Israeli towns. In 2021, Sinwar expressed his gratitude for Iran's support, stating that without Iran, Hamas would not possess its current military strength. Implications of Sinwar's death. The elimination of Yahya Sinwar is a significant blow to Hamas. His death disrupts the group's leadership and creates uncertainty within its ranks. Hamas has yet to comment on Sinwar's killing, and it remains unclear who will succeed him. The death of such a prominent figure might influence Hamas's future strategy, whether to continue the fight against Israel or seek negotiations. International leaders have responded to the news with varying perspectives. U.S. President Joe Biden expressed support for Netanyahu, stating that Sinwar's death was a victory for justice. In contrast, Iran condemned the act, vowing that it would inspire further resistance. British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer called for the release of all hostages and emphasized the need for a long-term, sustainable peace in the Middle East. Conclusion. The death of Yahya Sinwar is a pivotal moment in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. It raises questions about the future of Hamas's leadership and the broader implications for the region's stability. As the conflict continues, the international community remains divided, with some seeing Sinwar's death as a chance for peace, while others fear it may escalate tensions further. What do you think of the death of Yahya Sinwar and its impact on the region? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to What's Up Today show for more updates on this story and other breaking news from around the world. Hit the notification bell to stay informed on the latest developments.